Yes, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you. We're here to discuss the latest Man United news. Oh yes, happy lunchtime, my friends. It's Sunday, the 22nd of June, 2025, and we are about to get into it. Do us a favour at the start of this stream. Smash that like button on it. Give us a massive like. Hit the subscribe button if you're new and get yourself involved in the live chat there. We want to hear from you legends, such as Volps, what's going on? History buff, Sean, yes mate, Rogerio, welcome aboard. Robert and Sire, how you doing? Matthew Smith, Malps, and everybody who's in here, welcome aboard. Tom Furlong, how you doing? Thank you very much, guys, for getting in here. Hope you're well. Do us a favour at the start of the stream then. Smash the like on it, share it around, get yourself involved. You can give us a repost on X. There's a link right there at the top of the live chat. If you want to share the stream around, we'll give you a shout out later. And also hit the subscribe like Ibrahim Musa's just done. Big up, Ibrahim lad. Welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. And if you're on catch up later, get down below in the not live comments and have your say. Could we get a here we go in the week? Oh, Tyler Parker. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? I don't think so. I'll tell you why. It seems like at the moment anyway that this deal is pretty much very close to being concluded. However, we've got to take into account that whole PSR guff. You know, the financial ramifications of signing players in this financial year, obviously with 8 or 9 days left. It seems a lot of clubs are waiting until the 1st of July to do business. You will probably see quite a big flurry of transfers going on from the 1st of July. So I think maybe Man United might actually announce and officially sign and pay for Bryan Mbeumo on the 1st of July. In order to get it to go into the next financial sort of year of the whole PSR guff. Smash a 1 in the chat if you think that that is the case, or smash a 2 in the chat if you think Bryan Mbeumo will be officially announced before the end of June. Before the end of June, guys, and signed and done and delivered before the end of June. Let us know. But I do think it's realistically now, if we were going to get him, surely it would have been already sorted out by now. I think there's some financial reasons. Obviously, of course, Brentford are looking for a little bit extra here, and they've been quite firm on their price tag. I think 70 million was what they were aiming for. Man United trying to chip away at that, maybe have to make some of that up in add-ons. You know, we'll get into that in a moment. But the actual state of the deal, I think a lot of it does actually lie on us getting him on the 1st of July because of this whole PSR situation. So let's see what you guys are saying. JK agrees, Sean agrees, Tom agrees, David thinks we can get him in there before then. Yep, you don't think it's that close yet? Interesting. Well, I mean, he's agreed personal terms, at least verbally. He's of course, wanting to join Manchester United, and we have had bids in there, initially 55 plus 10, or I should say 45 plus 10, for the initial first bid, and then obviously negotiations been ongoing since then. So I think it is very close. I think this deal is very close. It's just they're just trying to finalise the final points, the structure, but also maybe it's got something to do with the fact that these teams, a lot of teams are waiting until the 1st of July in order to get these transfers done, because of what it means for the PSR and the financial year. You agree. Kieran says not there yet. Fair play. So you think we're going to get this guy in before the end of June? I mean, I would love that. That would be a great sign of intent, because obviously Amarim's situation is he's got to get players in before the tour, and if we can just get Mbuemo and Cunha in June, well, we only need to get a couple of key positions sorted out then in July. So it is quite paramount importance we get this guy in early. I'll show you the latest sort of reports in regards to Bryan Mbeumo, though. I mean, we talked about it late last night when these sort of reports were coming out in regards to this potential price tag for Bryan Mbeumo from Manchester United. And, you know, Manchester Evening News again reiterating it today, just that United are now willing to pay £63 million plus add-ons to sign Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo this summer. Last night there was lots of different reports coming out to suggest that this was the case. 63 million plus add-ons for Bryan Mbeumo. So, I mean, we don't know how exactly the amount total, but Brentford were looking for somewhere in the region of 70 million. So if we're going to give them exactly what they want, then I think it could be 63 plus 7. If we're giving them exactly what we want and we're getting bent over raw there, because that's what we would be doing, you know, we would be getting bent over at 70 million. 63 million, in my opinion, should be the total price, but 63 million plus add-ons, I mean, it depends what the add-ons are. Of course, if it's 7 million in add-ons and the add-ons are you know, for Manchester United to achieve Champions League qualification this season, or if Mbuemo scores 20-plus league goals, you know, there could be performance-based bonuses in there, which basically means that we only pay them extra if we're doing well, which I don't have a problem with, to be fair. So maybe the total might be something like that, but then it also may just be based on over a period of time. It may be based on, you know, appearances for Bryan Mbeumo once he's got X amount, you know. So Brentford stand to make a fortune on this deal, and it is too much money. 63 million plus however much you want to say. But ultimately, it's not our money. You know, we want this money to be spent to bring these good players in and to help us out and give Amorim what he needs. So I don't really give a shite, really, about a few extra million. But I just don't really like how Man United get bullied around in the transfer market. You look at what other clubs are doing. You know, Liverpool and able to sign players like Frimpong for 35 million. Now, he wouldn't even come to us right now, but I'm just saying if Man United were in for that sort of a player, we'd probably end up paying more than what they have. We just seem to get bent over by all these teams. They see us coming because they can smell the desperation, it seems. So 63 million, you know, plus add-ons is nothing crazy, really, when you see the deals that Man United have done over the last couple of seasons. It's actually sort of in keeping with what we've been doing. The only difference here, really, is at least we're getting a tried and tested Premier League player, and obviously Brentford need to be compensated for losing out on a really good player that they've got in the Premier League. They don't want to lose Bryan Mbeumo, so you need to compensate them. So yes, that's it really. United getting bent over again in the window. This is what happens. The reason it's important, though, this transfer window, to try and not get bent over in the transfer window financially here, is because we've got a lot of other positions to strengthen too. It would obviously make sense to try and save as much as you can on all of these transfer deals to put towards other players. Like if you are ending up having to pay an extra, £7 million for Bryan Mbeumo to Brentford, then that's £7 million less that you could put towards a proper number 9 or a goalkeeper, or even get a cheeky little cheap wing back from a Brazilian league or something, you know, just a few million quid here and there for a prospect. You could miss out on that. So it is important to try and get the deal for as low as possible, but these are the figures that are floating around the media today and last night. 63 million plus add-ons. I'll ask the live chat, guys, how much do you think is going to be the amount that it takes to get this deal done for Man United? But I could imagine, you know, around about 65 million pounds. If we end up paying 63 plus 7, we're mugs, aren't we? We're absolute mugs. But we could, you know, obviously, as I say, it could be performance based, but ultimately we just want to get this guy in. But we are mugs if we pay that much money. By the way, we've got 312 legends in here. Welcome into the 312 legends. We've got 102 likes. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting us to 100 likes, you legends. Let's go. If you're just joining us, hit the thumbs up button, because that is a Rasmus Hojlund level of goal ratio right there. Let's get up more to a Ruud van Nistelrooy level with a Bacon Brigade like spike. Thank you, everyone. And also get yourself subscribed to the channel and involved. We are on here daily and nightly, giving you the latest United news in a no bullshit way. So come and join us for these shows and get yourself subscribed and involved. Nice one. It will be 60 to 65. Yeah, I like your style. JK says 65. Daz says 65. 60 plus 5. 60 plus 5. Mustafa, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, my son. That's what I think it's going to be as well, pretty much. 60 plus 5. That makes perfect sense. Now, I think that's a deal that everybody can be happy with. We know that we've got a good player and we've not paid ridiculously over the odds. We've paid a little bit more to Brentford than what was initially wanted or what's initially expected. You know, even a little bit more than what we paid for Matheus Cunha, even though they're very similar sort of players and signings in regards to what they mean for their teams and the stature of the teams that they were at and their ages and things like that. So they're getting a good deal at 65 million. I'm sure they'd be happy at 65 million, 60 plus 5. Ultimately, though, that is a lot of money for United to find at the moment. You know, the Matheus Cunha deal is structured over a 2-year deal, so you've got obviously United paying over up to the summer of 2027, I think. Whereas this deal, it seems anyway, we don't know the inner workings of the deal or what the structure will actually be, but it seems like Brentford are holding out for basically all the money up front, because obviously they've got to reinvest, and they are trying to get the money up front. You think we will pay the 70 million? Yeah. Get in there, Paul Warby. Yes, Stan, 100 likes. Come on. 65 more than enough. Completely agree with you. 63 million add-ons a bit too much. Well, it depends how much the add-ons are. You know, if it's 3 million in add-ons, if he scores 20 goals, who cares? It's it probably won't be based on a performance, because if I was Brentford, I wouldn't say, oh yes, we'll accept an offer of £3 million if you get qualification for the Champions League, because you just don't know how United are going to do. But United, on their hand, they would be looking to certainly try and add something in there, like a performance-based add-on. So, if we win a trophy, here's another couple of million. If Mbuemo gets 50 appearances for United, here's another however much money, so it could foreseeably be performance based, or at least based on time, so that there's a delayed payment going on there, so it's not going to be for a while. And also, if we're doing well, that will be not so painful. 62 plus 5, says Elliot. 60 plus 2 or 3, I believe. 60 plus 5, or go by 12 Henningbergs. Yeah, United paid 72 or so for Rasmus, who was worth maybe 18. This is a great comment from you, Dr. Johnny Ladd, spoken like a true doctor. 72 million, 72, I think it was actually 73 million, wasn't it, for Rasmus Hojlund? But yes, you're absolutely right. Crazy money, 85 million for Anthony Dos Santos. In comparison, though, these deals that we're making so far, Matheus Cunha and Mbuemo, if he does cost around 65, I mean, let's be real, they seem like good value compared to those guys anyway. I mean, Ten Hag was smoking the Amsterdam special so much when he was trying to make those deals and actually getting those deals done. Not that he was the one actually negotiating the recruitment or the transfers of these players, but obviously his input into the deal to try and say, hey, yes, I'm happy for you to spend X amount of my transfer kitty on Anthony Dos Santos. He was off his head, wasn't he? So yeah, but those days are hopefully gone. D-Face, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Yes, D-Face, I appreciate that. We are on our way to 91,000 subscribers on YouTube here. Give us a subscribe if you're new. Get yourself involved. We're on here daily. We're also going to be on here tonight around 10 p.m. with the latest updates. But let's get into the Bryan Mbeumo stuff anyway. That's what we're here for, really. Just to show you what we've sort of got in terms of updates. We did a video last night, discussed it. But, news and reports coming out that the figure is reported as £63 million plus add-ons to sign Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo. It sounds realistic. It sounds like that should be the sort of figure, close to the figure that will get the deal done. Look, if Brentford don't want to play ball at that figure, then forget it. As I've said, I still think there's a good chance that United are waiting to really get this deal done on the 1st of July, so we can get this into the next financial year for PSR purposes. Fabrizio, there's an update here from this morning that just says that talks are still ongoing. Right now, we're waiting to see if Manchester United can reach an agreement with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo on the fee. Their first bid came 10 days ago, but was rejected. So obviously it's still just a bit of a case of cat and mouse, I suppose. They're trying to reach somewhere in the middle. Maybe Brentford are fully aware that United are in a bit of a desperate position, and we're trying to get this big deal announced so we can chill a little bit and then focus on other signings. So they're prepared to say, hey, no, we want what we want. Give us that extra couple of million, which we might end up doing. So this is where the 63 maybe plus add-ons comes in to get closer to their valuation of the player, which is thought to be around about £70 million is what they want for him, which is too much. But it's certainly an interesting situation, because we could sign him imminently any moment, but also there is an expectation that it'll probably be on the 1st of July. So I think it'll be the 1st of July. That's my date. Get your dates in there, guys. What day is Mbuemo Day? What day is the official day? I'm not talking about a here we go from Fab, because a here we go from Fab could be in a couple of days' time. It could be any time soon that the clubs have actually reached an agreement. But I'm talking about when Manchester United have actually completed the deal, officially signed the player, and obviously exchanged the contracts and the money, and paid Brentford to sign the player. That's what I'm talking about. So get your prediction in there. But I'm going for the 1st of July. Rasmus Hojlund, absolutely, Fujiwara. Get some sleep, lad. Get some sleep, lad. Thank you, Sheldon, Snooper, Naj, Crystal, SHP, and Ephraim Shikanda. What a name. Great name. Thank you, guys, for subscribing to the channel. Yes, if you're new like those legends, hit the subscribe. Thank you so much there, guys. July 3rd. Interesting. Second kit launch. So that would be so like Manchester United, wouldn't it? Billy, she has, I know, yes, she met Gaza. Awesome, isn't it? Yeah, Wednesday the 2nd of July, Defo the 1st of July. Mandy, mad love from Nigeria. Big up getting in here from Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. And Mbuemo better not be deadline day. Oh, I can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, could you imagine if it dragged on? That'd be truly awful. Yes. Fat Thor says Brentford doesn't want any of our transfer listed players. Boy, they must really suck. They do really suck. But it's not just the fact that they suck, and they do suck, as you say. But it's also just that their price tags for their actual wages and everything, their salaries are too much. We have priced every one of our players, almost every one of them. Maybe a couple that we could still sell, like Anthony, Garnacho, Hojlund, who are not on crazy money. But most of the players we've priced out of moves. Good luck selling Mason Mount. Good luck selling Jadon Sancho. Good luck selling Marcus Rashford. Very difficult to sell these players on big money. Lucky saying, yes, these are lots of the reports that are going around, Lucky. Obviously, we have to take it with a pinch of salt at the moment, Lucky, though. Because, again, we're waiting for these sorts of updates from, no disrespect to anyone, but from the tier 1, top tier sort of diamond dog journalists. We're waiting for the tier 1 journos, the likes of David Ornstein, to drop a bomber, lad. That's what we're looking for. So, yes, okay, great reports and great news about this 63 plus 5 deal, or whatever you said there. Could be 63 plus 7, could be 65, could be 60 plus 5. Ultimately, it's all just speculation at the moment, isn't it? But it is being reported various places, so I understand what you're saying. But we've got to wait. We've got to wait for the here we go situation. We've got to wait from the bomber. We've got to wait for, the actual official announcement from Manchester United is the most important thing as well. When he's actually here at the football club with the pen in his hand, with the smile on his face, signing the contract. That's what we've got to look for. Oh, Dad Salford says 1st of July, 2028. Good shout, Rogerio. 1st of July, Mbuemo announced Sancho, Rashford, Anthony exits the club. Great call, great call. Okay, I'm just going to get onto that for a minute because you just mentioned something very appropriate, very, very true. So we've talked about the need for United to probably wait until the 1st of July for PSR purposes to get this guy in. Okay, that's what we've discussed. That might not be the case. Maybe we will sign Mbuemo before then, but that's what we talked about. And I think there is a sense of we're going to be selling players, but we haven't sold anybody yet, have we? Which is probably a reason why maybe we are waiting to get Mbuemo done. Nobody's bought our players in this June period. They're all probably waiting until the 1st of July as well, so it goes into the next financial year. We already know that, well, we don't know, but we understand that Leicester City are about to sack Ruud van Nistelrooy. But apparently they're waiting until the 1st of July to do so, so it goes into the next financial year. So if that's the case, if teams are literally waiting to sack managers, so it goes into the next financial year, you can best believe teams are waiting to the next financial year before they sign players as well. So nobody's looking to buy our players in June right now. They're probably looking to buy them from the 1st of July. So I think you really will see a very busy couple of weeks at the 1st of July for both incomings and outgoings for Manchester United. We'll probably see a striker, a goalkeeper sorted, and obviously hopefully Mbuemo at the very latest would be the 1st of July. And then beyond that, you've got to try and get a lot of these players out, and there are talks at the moment for a lot of these players out, but probably teams are a little bit reluctant to spend that money at this moment. So if we have a look at the updates there, so this is from Marco Alcaraz just 20 minutes before the stream, says that United are hopeful of securing permanent transfer fees, collectively around £55 million for both Jadon Sancho and Anthony this summer, aiming to bolster their spending capacity in the current window. So that'll be £45 million for Anthony and £10 million for Sancho. No, I'm just joking, but somewhere in that region would be lovely. But right now, there is actually no offers on the table. However, there are very much clubs interested in these players. And we've got another report here from earlier on today that Fenerbahce has asked about the conditions of a deal for Jadon Sancho. We know that there's interest from teams in Saudi Arabia for Jadon Sancho. There's interest from even a couple of Premier League teams, apparently teams like Aston Villa, some Italian clubs like the likes of Napoli. So there has been some interest in Sancho. Sancho's one of those players we can expect to leave at the start of the July period, I think. I think he wants to go, he needs to go, but he obviously is not going to turn down anything less than what he's getting paid right now. I mean, he needs to get paid what he's getting right now to leave, I mean. So I think Sancho is probably out the door, but it's a tough deal for us to get him paid the same elsewhere. We may have to chip in a bit. The ideal scenario is for us to sell. We don't want to loan these players out. The ideal scenario is for us to sell these players. So if we do sell these players, then that generates a bit of cash. And not only that, it gets these players off of our books, these cancerous polyps on the behind of Manchester United. No, not all of them, not all of them. People came in with good intentions. Anthony Dos Santos is a hard-working player. He's just shit. But Jadon Sancho, I'm sorry, he's a scamcho merchant. He's just got a big fat money deal and then down tools pretty much straight away coming in. Lazy bugger. So he can't be bothered to do much around the place. He doesn't want to work hard. He just causes waves, unprofessional, slagging off managers on his Insta, all the rest of it. So Jadon Sancho, yes, he needs to be sold. But good luck trying to sell him, that's what I'm saying. But Fenerbahce apparently interested in the conditions of a deal. But the conditions of a deal are going to involve £300,000 a week for Jadon Sancho, for whichever club he goes to. Now, if we can't get rid of him and a team's paying the full amount, then I think it's probably best for Manchester United to let him go to a league abroad, such as, yes, the Turkish league would be good, the Italian league, somewhere where it's not going to affect us. I wouldn't want to see him, go to a Premier League team on the cheap, or us pay money for him to play for Villa or something stupid like that. That just doesn't make sense for us to contribute wages for the remaining year on his contract for him to play for a Premier League team. Makes zero sense. So if we are going to let him go and have to chip into his wages for the remainder of his contract, then he's got to go abroad. But we are expecting to try and sell him at the moment. We heard some talks of Juventus tabling or being close to tabling a €25 million bid for him. I find that crazy. I can't really imagine that's the case. But there are links with lots of different Italian clubs, Inter, Juve, Napoli. They're all after some players from Manchester United, it seems. And we've got a good track record of sending players over to the Italian league and them doing quite well. Another player that's certainly on the agenda to be sold this summer, or at least loaned out, at least gotten rid of in the temporary situation, is Rasmus Hojlund. And Gazzetta dello Sport reporting that Napoli have joined Inter Milan in the race to sign Rasmus Hojlund, who's open to being sold by Ruben Amorim. So I imagine he'd be open to being sold because, let's face it, Hojlund was gash last season. He only scored a few goals in the league and was pretty pathetic. He could still be a great player in the future. He is only 22. I'd be open to both a loan move and a sale, depending on the terms of the deals, because, if he was loaned out and he's getting some decent game time over there and he's getting his confidence back and improving and developing, maybe we have got a good player in a couple of years. And he's contracted until 2030, remember, guys. Hojlund's contracted at United till 2030. So I don't think we've got a player in there, though, personally. But let's just say, just for argument's sake, that it is some sort of a disease at Manchester United. Players come in and are awful, and maybe he goes over to Italy and just smashes 20 goals in or something. If that happened, I feel like, yes, we could potentially keep hold of a player who could have a good future. What's that? We've got a new patron, guys, during the show. Thank you so much to the new patron. Sorry, it just took me by surprise. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if it actually comes through. But we've got a new patron, and his name's Rubber Johnny. Rubber Johnny, thanks for supporting the Patreon, lad. That's awesome, mate. Thank you so much, lad. Rubber Johnny. Appreciate that, dude. That's very nice of you, though. Thanks for supporting on Patreon, lad. Links in the description if anybody wants to do that. There's extra stuff there, community chat, etc. Thank you so much there, lad. That's awesome. Thanks for becoming a patron there. Anyway, Napoli, right, guys, have apparently joined the race there to sign Hojlund. Keep, loan, or sell, guys. Gashmus Boylan, keep, loan, or sell. I do think it's going to have a basis on, who we bring in up top there. If we ended up bringing in a proper top striker, we're talking like a Gyokeres or someone like that, and also another striker up there to play number 9 as a second fiddle. Somebody who's good, but somebody who's obtainable for not a huge amount of money. I don't know. I'm looking at you, Jonathan David. Someone like that. If we could bring those guys in there, then you probably will see Hojlund sacked off. But if United are struggling towards the end of the window to be able to bring in those reinforcements up there, we might end up just keeping him in the squad. I still think Chido Obi should be ahead of him in terms of opportunities in the team to develop. But, of course, we need to sign a proper number 9, the number 1 number 9 for us. But beyond that, we are going to need some reinforcements. But it does depend on who we sign, who we bring in. If we can bring in multiple players in that position, then I don't really see why we would want to keep hold of Gashmus Boylan. And from his perspective, why would he want to stay when he's not really going to get that much game time and opportunities? Yes, you can promise Amorim would do a lot better if he got Hojlund or players with actual quality on the ball, unlike Ugarte and Mason Mount. Hey, fair play to you, lad. Mason Mount's got some good abilities on the ball, to be fair to him, but I don't really rate him overall at all. I've never have done. See you later on, Mason Mount, you gash. Ugarte could do well. He's a bit of a battler, lad, but we are obviously expecting, him to do better this season. If he doesn't do better, then you probably end up getting sacked off on the scrap heap like most. Let's see what you guys are saying here. So keep, sell or loan Rasmus Hojlund. For me, it is a sell. I would absolutely sell him because we need the cash right now to sign better players, new players, not players who are complete melters and in front of goal. We need somebody clinical up there. And he could generate maybe £35 million, somewhere in that region. Yes, it's half what we pay for him, and it's a calamity, but it's better than nothing. And then we can use that cash to sign a proper number 9. So that's the idea there. But let's see what you guys are saying. Sell, says PJ. Sell. Keep, says Henrik. Yeah, fair enough. Well, if we don't sign any replacements or reinforcements for a number 2 spot, he probably will be kept. You're going to need 3 strikers, I think, up there, 3 number 9s. Yeah, we've got loads of players to play at number 10, even all the way back to the likes of Mason Mount and Xerxes, and Ahmad can go in there if you need him to. And, we've got a lot of cover at number 10. And, of course, Mbuemo and Cunha are expected to be the first team starters at number 10. Number 9... we don't really have that much up there. We've got, at the moment, I guess Hojlund's our first choice. But beyond that, yes, we've only really got sort of like Chido Obi. You've got players who can play there. Cunha can play there a game if you need him to. And Mbuemo can play there a game if you need him to. Those guys can play there. And they did play there for their previous teams in a handful of games last season. But it's not their preferred positions, is it? So for us, it makes sense to get a backup for the number 9. And also just have a good young player around the place to develop, such as Chido Obi. We've already got him. He's good. Give him chances. Let's see how he gets on. He's younger and shows a little bit more, I think, than what could potentially be the case for Hojlund. So if we get, let's say, in an ideal world, Gyokeres, or not even necessarily Gyokeres, but just somebody up there, like a Gyokeres, like an Osman, like a, even I'd be very much interested in a Mateta or a Visser type player as well, definitely. So those sorts of players sorted at number 9. And then the number 2, Jonathan David. And then he can get good opportunities as well, and everyone's happy. And then you've got a youngster there who's not going to be kicking up too much of a fuss if he's not playing every single week, such as Chido Obi, which means there would be no place for Rasmus Hojlund. At best, Rasmus Hojlund's a backup, and does he want to do that at United? Sell, 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 sell. Loan obligation Inter or Napoli. Keep, sell, sell. Permanent sale. Loan to sell first if possible. Duran would be nice. Hey, we're 13 likes away from 200 likes. Thank you so much, Stephanie Griffith. Legends. Everyone who's in here, big ups to the live chat for liking the video. Do us a favour and hit the thumbs up on the stream. If you haven't done so, give us a massive like on it. You know it makes sense. Every little like helps the channel out and helps us compete with clickbait wankers and corporation prats. So do hit the like button. And also, if you're in here for the first time ever, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. We're on here daily for all the latest Man United news. We're going to be back on here tonight at 10 p.m-ish as well, UK time. We always do a lunchtime and a evening transfer news show with all the latest stuff. So get yourself involved. And we're hoping maybe we will get some sort of a big breaking update in between and we might jump on again. But in reality, I do think there's a certain level of expectation. A lot of these deals are going to be getting done at the start of July rather than the end of June. PFC, thanks for subscribing. Ahmad Hassan, thanks for subscribing. Legend. Sully Griffin, what's going on, you absolute legend? Yes, lad. Getting in here from Cyprus as well. Represent. Thank you, UK Darren, lad. Enjoy it. It's been a bit like Cyprus here in the UK at the moment. So toasty. Okay, let's crack on with the rest of the little bits of updates we've got, and then we get back into the Mbuemo chat and see what the live chat's thinking. But also a report here that says that Rashford, this is from the Times, Rashford has not given up on his hope of a move to Barcelona. Even with this Nico Williams stuff going on, right? He's not given up on his move to Barcelona. Catalan's been on the brink of signing Nico Williams. So I don't think he's going to Barcelona personally, but apparently he's still in with a shout. He's over there in Spain training. I think he's twerking his way to Barcelona at the moment, or at least trying. So fair enough, you can't really blame him. But at the same time, it's probably not going to happen for him now that Nico Williams is on the verge of signing for them. Rashford needs to get realistic. Rashford should go and play for, a good team in Italy, really. I don't think Rashford should expect to play for one of the top 2 or 3, 4 teams in the world anymore. He's not the top tier player. His wages are large. He's going to cost £40 million or somewhere in that region at the start of the proceedings anyway, before you've even thought about touching his 350k a week contract salary expectations. So from a buying club's point of view, there's probably only a few clubs that could actually even buy Marcus Rashford. And I think he needs to get realistic about what his expectations are. You know, if I was him, I would be looking at a move to one of the top clubs in Italy as a really good opportunity, to be fair. Someone like a Napoli. Now, I don't know if Napoli would be interested in him, but apparently they're interested in Hojlund and maybe even Sancho. So if they're interested in those mugs, then surely why the hell wouldn't they be interested in Marcus Rashford? And you might say, well, they can't afford Marcus Rashford, but they've still got players like Osimhen or whatever on the books of being paid the same money as Rashford. So if they could get him off the books, then who's to say they wouldn't want to do a deal like that? But again, it is the financials that makes it difficult. Maybe this is the reason why they'd look at a player like Sancho as an option ahead of the likes of Rashford. Because Sancho, his price tag is tiny because, well, he's only got a year left on his contract for a start. Rashford's got a few. His wages are a bit less on 300k a week. And because United are so desperate to move Sancho on, and the only options really are us to maybe loan him out and lose money or let him go for peanuts, it means that it's a much cheaper deal overall for a team like Napoli. So again, the Rashford deal is a difficult one to make if you're a buying club. Can you afford to buy Rashford? That's it, even if you're Barcelona or one of these clubs right now. Very difficult. But yeah, exactly. The Rashford interview is cringe. He's begging. He's twerking big time, hands on the ground, shaking the derriere for Barca. He is twerking for Barca right now. Swap Rashford for Ferran Torres. Interesting. Well, yeah, so swap deals are a possibility, aren't they? Look at that. Yeah, Rashford going to Napoli too. Well, I'm not saying that they don't seem to have it interested in. No. There hasn't been any real links with Napoli. The point I'm making is there should be. Why aren't they interested in him? They've just won the league. He's got his pal Scotty McTominay over there. They just won the league. They're obviously doing well. It's a big club. They do pay players big wages. De Bruyne has just gone over there, you know. If they're selling Osimhen or getting rid of Osimhen this summer, which it looks very likely, that'll free up a position in the team, won't it? So I would have thought they'd be interested in him. I'm not saying they are, but I would have thought they would be. But the reality is they're more interested in players like Jadon Sancho, even though Sancho's worse, just because it seems like he's a lot cheaper to obtain. Rashford's transfer and his wages are just astronomical. It makes it very difficult. There's only a few clubs that can afford him, and it doesn't seem like right now many of those few clubs are actually too keen on him. So it's an interesting situation there. I don't think, obviously, we should loan him out. That'd be crazy. Unless, I guess, it's to a league abroad and he's not going to affect us whatsoever. Don't loan him out to another Premier League club like we did last season. That'd be crazy. And then also we have to expect that most of the wages are going to be paid if that's the case. We can't just keep paying him to play for somebody else. The best situation is to sell him, unfortunately. But I'll ask the live chat on Rashford here as well. I'll ask the live chat on Rashi. Keep, loan or sell. Keep, loan or sell. I mean, there is a chance we talked about maybe Amorim and Rashford have a reconciliation, but Rashford would have to change his attitude massively. He would have to, of course, work ridiculously hard to fight his way back into the team and prove himself with performances and effort, which I don't think he wants to do. I think for a start, he's already said a few months ago, he wants to leave Manchester United for a new challenge. Amorim loaned him out. He wasn't liking the efforts in training and also what he could bring to the team and his system. So I think it's pretty clear that obviously Amorim doesn't really want him and Rashford wants to go. That is true. But there's still a tiny possibility they could reconcile, and then maybe you could just see him feature in the team. But I doubt it. I think he's going to get sold. But again, he's going to be tough to sell, guys. Very tough to sell. What's the temperature in there, Piggy? Still hot? It is, mate. 27.5 degrees Celsius right now in the Piggy studio right now. So hot, lad. So hot. Napoli wants Scamcho. Yes, exactly. It is an elongated joke. You're right. I like that. An elongated joke. Very much true. Sell or loan with a buy clause. Sell, 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 sell. Sack. He isn't worse than what we've got. No, I mean, if you actually look at his goal scoring record, even last season before he went, he was the guy leading the goals until he went, basically, wasn't he? So you've got to say he's still not a bad option for us up there, but his attitude is the problem. If he was a hard worker, if he was somebody that was prepared to try and justify that 350,000 wage, then you would see Rashford, I think, given another chance. But I don't think he's actually prepared to try. He could have really knuckled down and worked hard as soon as Amorim came in. It seemed like his head's gone, the season's at a loss, he can't really be asked, he's not happy, whatever. But you've got to work hard, you've got to try and fight your way into the team and be professional. You know, so Mason Mount's a bit of a gash player, isn't he? But Amorim made a point about him, and I don't want Mason Mount to be here, but he made a point about him that he's so professional. You know, he's first in, last out, works hard, eats really well, trains hard, big smile on his face, happy to be there, happy to work hard, you know, wants to learn, wants to improve. That's what you want. That's what you want. I'm not saying Mason Mount's a great player because he's gashed, but I'm just saying, like, that's what you want. You don't want somebody who's coming in sulking around, late, turning up, not even going to training or whatever like he did. That wasn't under Amorim, but I'm just using that as an example when he went out on the piss in Belfast or whatever it was and then didn't turn up for training. You know, so you don't want that. You don't want players who are sulking around. You don't want players who are not tracking back properly in games or just jogging around there, head down, not chasing balls that they've lost and all that sort of stuff. It has a really bad negative impact on the whole team. And then when you're the guy who's up there, 27 years of age, supposed to be being this talisman in the team, what does that say for the rest of the team? So there was no alternative really for Amorim but to sack him off because he was showing a very poor attitude. But if he was to change his attitude, he could be brought back in, but I very much doubt that's going to happen because it's the attitude, isn't it? There you go, he's lazy, that's the problem. Talent's irrelevant, he's not working towards helping the club. Crazy, yes. Yeah, United have him on too much money. Yeah, fair enough, lad. Could be. Mason Mount mentality, fight for club, wants to play for club. There you go. There's a lot to be said for having a great mentality. Rashford doesn't seem to have that great elite mentality, unfortunately. He is the sort of guy that's, that's signed that big money deal and then his head's gone. I never thought that would happen with Rashford, but it has. It definitely did, and it almost happened almost immediately once he got the 350k a week contract. So I don't know if there's something about these big money contracts just demotivating players. They think, oh, well, you know, I'm just a millionaire playboy. I'm just going to enjoy my life now, and I'm retired at 27. There could be something to that, you know. It's too much too soon for these young players, unfortunately. And exactly, Elliot says it's obvious from the body language. Yes, if you look at Rashford's body language as well, playing for Manchester United in the last few days, obviously before he's left to Villa on loan, he just looks like a defeated man. He looks like he's literally depressed to be on the pitch, can't be arsed, and doesn't have the fight in him. When he went to Villa, he was quite decent for them. Not amazing. People talk about like he was amazing. He wasn't. He was quite good for them. But, you know, there you go. Why not do that for Manchester United? It's a poor attitude. He's obviously lost his head at United. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about Rashford, but Rashford to Barcelona is on the cards, I suppose, but very unlikely, especially with the Nico Williams situation. I can't imagine they can justify the spend. But maybe, you know, somebody mentioned it earlier, perhaps there could be something coming in the opposite direction to us. You never know, that would sweeten the deal for us, and maybe that could justify the spend for them. Who knows? But Marcus Rashford is not expected to go to Barca, in my opinion. I don't think he will. I think he'll end up going somewhere else. I'll ask the live chat, where do you think Marcus Rashford's going to end up? I don't think it will be Barcelona. I'm going to say, I don't know. You know, it's difficult, guys. It's very difficult. I'm going to say he's going to Aston Villa. There you go. And they're going to give us somebody in return. Maybe Martinez, the goalkeeper. Maybe Ollie Watkins or something like that. I don't know. I know Aston Villa can't spend a lot of money right now. They're financially strapped because of this whole situation, and they can't spend a lot, right? Which makes me think, well, if we were to chip away at a deal for them, and if they included a player for us, maybe it would happen. And we are, of course, interested in Martinez at the moment. So you never know, but obviously it's still airy-fairy. Rashford's going to be quite difficult to sell to anybody. His wages are a massive put-off. The only way we might be interested in doing something with Villa there is if they basically give us somebody really on the cheap, one of these players that we're interested in. Rashford to Burnley, Spurs, Everton, Real Madrid, Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, there's been links, but I think it's it's not Hollywood enough for Rashford, you know. It's not Hollywood enough for him. AC Milan, nowhere. Abbey Hay, Como, Frey Bentos FC. Solihull Moors, Accrington Stanley, Newcastle. You think Southampton, Real Madrid? Well, apparently he's not ruled out a move to Real Madrid. We spoke about that yesterday with Marcus Rashford apparently making himself available, or his agents and stuff making himself available to Real Madrid if they're interested, you know. Yeah, nice one. So Marcus Rashford, make himself available. Yeah, just because you are available doesn't mean that they're going to come in for you, though, does it? By the way, guys, we've got 489 legends in here. Shout out to the mighty Hamada and the legends in the live chat. We've just got a couple more things to discuss. Then we'll get deep into the live chat for a big Q&A. Shout out everyone in here. Keep hitting the likes. We're nearly at 300 likes. Let's see if we can get 300 likes on this stream. Smash the like button if you just joined in. Also, get yourself subscribed. We're on our way now to 91,000 subscribers. 91,000. We're nearly there. Give us a subscribe. We're only actually 46 people away from 90,900. So make sure you hit the subscribe if you're here for the first time. Luke CX, thank you for your super chat, Luke. Big ups. He says, seems likely this is a consistent problem. So is it the toxic environment or a mentality issue with 5 players? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a bit of both, really. It's certainly because of a lot of the players we've had and the salary structure of a lot of players and the attitudes of some of the players. There's almost like a disease that grips hold of players when they come in. And then, of course, there's a lot of toxicity from the top down at this football club, from the owners down, in regards to the state of the club and sort of what their ambitions are. You know, Man United, as a club, the fans are ambitious. The fans want the best. But as a club, we're not the most ambitious. We're not the most ambitious because of our shite owners. You know, so I think it's a problem with the club, but it's also, you know, a lot of these players are not good enough mentality-wise. I think it's true. I don't think the club has that effect on everyone. You know, you look at players who come in there, some of them are still very professional, very hard-working players. You know, look at Bruno Fernandes, for instance. Bruno Fernandes works his absolute socks off for Man United and has done since the day he arrived. His effort levels haven't dropped for Manchester United. Maybe you could argue his performances slightly compared to when he first came in for the first 18 months. He was pretty much one of the best players in the world. But, you know, obviously still great for us, still works very hard. I don't think it's the club. I do think there has been a toxic environment at the club which doesn't help. But I just personally think it's more to do with the players and how they deal with the pressure at Manchester United and how they deal with, you know, the environment. So, good comment, though. Thank you so much there, Luke CX. Appreciate you there, lad. Zayn Miasi's got a super chat in here. He says, I heard Rashford is the new Henry, Piggy. Yeah, I saw these quotes as well where he says he loves Thierry Henry, aspires to be like Thierry Henry. Nice one. Aspires to be like Thierry Henry. Goodness me. The only way he could aspire and be like Thierry Henry is if he went and bought a Renault Clio. That's the easiest way for him to be like Thierry Henry. Do you know what I mean? A certain je ne sais quoi? A certain va-va-voom? You know what I'm saying, guys? Who remembers those old adverts? Smash one if you do. Showing my age there, maybe. But that's the only way that he could be like Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry's in a different league to Marcus Rashford, isn't he? But fair enough, Rashford aspires to be like Thierry Henry. That's who he looked up to. Good player to look up to be fair. You know, he was a great player. Yes, Rashford should join Lingard in Korea. Yes, good shout. Rashford's the new Henry, but the vacuum cleaner. Not fit to lace Henry's boots. Yeah, true. Okay, so another link that we've got, though, for the goalkeeper position. So I'm not going to bore you to death with the Martinez stuff. Or even the Onana stuff. We know that Andre Onana is wanted by no one. There were teams reportedly interested, but I think it's a load of guff. Like Monaco apparently had an interest in him, but I think it's very unlikely. I don't think anybody is truly interested in him right now. Martinez is a keeper we're interested in. But another keeper we're interested in, and should be interested in, and might have an interest in going to get because of Ruben Amorim, is Porto's goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. And honestly, from what I've seen from him, I think he's a brilliant shout. I really do think he would be a great signing. I don't know how much he'd cost. I don't know how this would work. But in terms of getting an option in there who's out of the Premier League, it's kind of not a bad option. I like him. Diogo Costa seems a very good goalkeeper, and this is a report that says that United boss Ruben Amorim has identified Porto goalkeeper Diogo Costa as his preferred replacement for Andre Onana this summer. So I think he's a very good keeper. Obviously that Portuguese friend and all that for Ruben Amorim. Depends on the price tag. Depends on the price, but certainly could be on the short list for Manchester United goalkeepers. Of course, we're still looking at Martinez and the options there, possibly. Villa are expected to want to cash in on some players this summer to balance the books a bit. Martinez is expected to want to leave Aston Villa, and apparently he's open to joining Manchester United, even though we don't have Champions League football. So, could see a little bit of movement there for one of these guys soon. Again, probably not going to happen to the 1st of July. Kevin Nelson has subscribed to the channel as well. Legend Kevin. Thank you, Kevin Nelson, for hitting that subscribe button. Yes, if you're new tickle the subscribe button and get involved like Kevin Nelson just did. Nice one. Zayn Miyasi, he says, I think the 3 best attackers for me were Ronaldo, Omri and Shearer. Nobody asked, Zayn. Nobody asked, Zayn, who the 3 best attackers for you were. But thanks for sharing. Ronaldo, Omri and Shearer. I'm only joking. Fair play to you, lad. Good list, good list, good list. I mean, in the Premier League, I think you've got to say, I would have to say different reasons. But yeah, Omri's up there, Shearer's up there. You know, Rooney's up there, Ruud van Nistelrooy's up there. Anyway, great shout though, lad. I know, you can't wait to see that on the video outro. I know. We've got a new Patreon today. Shout out to Rubber Johnny, who's become a Patreon today. Thank you. Big ups to you, you legend. And that's going to be on the outro soon, yes. For me, you have to get the toxic energy out because good players are just good players and just crumbling and cashing in is crazy. Good call, you legend. There you go. Getting out some of these toxic melts is key. You know, players like Sancho, who are pretty toxic. Also, Garnacho, you know, he's out of favour now, and he's a player that can generate his cash this summer. And he's certainly a player that has shown a little bit of toxicity recently with his actions and words after the Europa League final. Okay, so let's just get in a little rundown of what we've discussed here. But Diogo Costa is potentially on Ruben Amorim's list there as a goalkeeper replacement for Onana. We do probably have to sell Onana this summer in order to get a new goalkeeper, but I don't think we have to sell him first. We could just sign a goalkeeper, then it's clear what Andre Onana's situation is at the club. He'll probably want to leave, and of course the situation then will get resolved with a sale, hopefully. I think there'll be a club out there for him, but I just don't know the standard of the club. Anyway, let's do a rundown of what we've discussed very quickly, then we're going to get into the live chat here for a raw one. So this is the story of the day, really, is that there are reports going around that the Man United are willing to pay 63 million plus add-ons for Bryan Mbeumo, guys. 63 million plus add-ons for Bryan Mbeumo. Now, if we could just get that done, fantastic. Then we could start to move on. Expectation it'll probably be the 1st of July, though. But who knows? Could be before, I suppose. Depends on United's financial situation there. But also, you know, maybe this isn't the exact figure that it will actually be. Plus, this just depends on how much, you know, speculation as to what the add-ons could be. But we're expected, I think so, anyway, that it will be 60 plus 5. That's what I think. So this says 63 plus add-ons. I'm thinking it'll be 60 plus 5. That's my personal opinion, because any more than that, and it's like United are getting absolutely rogered more than a policeman's radio in the transfer market. And we do really, really, you know, we do really get cocked more times than John Wayne's looking 6-shooter. You know what I mean? In the transfer window. Sorry, I don't know where I'm coming out with all these for, but you know, it's really quite poor, isn't it? Like the amount we spend on players like Gasmus Boyland and all these guys. So it's too much money, really. But to get the guy in and to have him sort of start the transfer window proper for us. Not that the Matheus Cunha signing is not great, but if we have Matheus Cunha and Mbuemo, and then that's a really good start. That's pretty much 50% of what we need for the key positions to strengthen. Because the other positions to strengthen, of course, the striker position. Then we can start to look at the likes of Gyokeres, Osman, Visser, Mateta, whoever. Acuna, Mateta for the rest of my days. And then beyond that, a goalkeeper. You've got to try and replace Flubberhand Onana in the sticks. So, because let's face it, he's got hands made of fruit pastels. Right, let's get stuck into the live chat here, guys, for a bit, see what you legends are saying. But yes, if you are joining, Mbuemo, 63 million plus add-ons is reported various different places. Manchester Evening News, Valentin Furlan and Rudy Gillespie all reporting this sort of figure. Fabrizio Romano says talks are all still ongoing right now. We're waiting to see if Manchester United can reach an agreement with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo on the fee. Their first bid came 10 days ago but was rejected. Okay, so that's the latest sort of on Mbuemo there. I'll just have a look on X and various places here just to see if there's any updates on any Manchester United potential signings or transfer news from the bods. No, nothing more since we started this stream, no. Okay, let's get into the chat then, guys. Thank you everyone for getting in. Smash the like button on it, hit the thumbs up, smash the subscribe, get involved in the chat and have your say, and let's discuss anything we've discussed in this video, legends. Okay, Billy, thanks for your message. Says, Pig, would you be okay if we got Mbuemo but didn't get a striker, but we got a player who can actually save the ball in the net? I mean, I would be okay with that, but okay's the word. I wouldn't be absolutely overly enamoured with it, because we all know that we do need a goal scorer up there. And Mbuemo and Cunha are going to add goals. They scored 35 goals between them in the Premier League this season just gone. So they'll definitely add goals. But we still need a number 9 who can take goals and finish off chances. You know, we absolutely do. Rasmus Hojlund is not that clinical guy to do that. And if we are going to have somebody up there, then they need to be getting at least 15, 20 goals. I think, you know, you look at Mbuemo, he'll probably get a similar amount of goals as what he got last season for Brentford. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but you'd expect Cunha and Mbuemo to be on, you know, 15 goals each, 15 to 20 goals each, maybe, for the season. But if you really want to have a good season, you do need another striker up there who's getting 20 goals himself. You need that. So you need about 50 or 60 goals from the front three, I think, if you're going to have a successful season. And we don't have a clinical striker, so I would only be okay with it. I know improving upon the goalkeeper position is massively important too, so if that happened, fantastic. But still, there is paramount importance to get a striker. I think if it was down to me, I'd be getting 2 strikers in this window too. As we've mentioned, I'd be getting a marquee signing, a Gyokeres or someone like that, and then, if we could anyway, and then beyond that, it would be like a Jonathan David on a free to come in and give us real depth and extra sort of quality in the team there, because you do need to have, I think, 3 players in the number 9 position as backup. Not as backup, sorry, 3 players in total. You have one starting, who's your main guy. You have another who's your deputy, who's your rotation player or your backup player or your substitute player or whatever. And then you have a youngster who's got great potential and gets opportunities, but obviously not going to have as many opportunities as some of the senior players. But just to bring them through and blood them and give them chances, that's where a Chido Obi player type comes in. But yeah, certainly 2 strikers would be a great addition to the squad. That's if you can sell Hojlund, obviously. If Hojlund's not going anywhere, then we're only going to sign 1 striker. Thank you, Fat Thor, for your question. It says, do you think we're capable of getting a new goalkeeper, striker and CM in time while also getting rid of our criminals? I am concerned. Also getting rid of our criminals. Interesting way of saying it, lad. We're capable of getting it. Yes, I do. Maybe not the CM. Okay, so the CM could happen if we can really do well with player departures. So we're going to see at the start of July just how decent United are about selling players. Because I think it's going to be very challenging for us to sell players for a lot of the reasons we've gone through. The wages that these players are on, maybe the clubs that the players have ideas about going to don't want them, i.e. Marcus Rashford. You know, but players definitely tough to sell, aren't they? So the CM position could be addressed if we have a good transfer window, selling players and generate lots of cash coming back into the club. But if we don't do that, then I can't see us really strengthening much beyond the goalie and the striker. So after Mbuemo, we're expected to be going for a striker and a goalkeeper. Really, that's the expectation. We could also do with a wing-back, a centre-back and a central midfielder. Facts. Like, we've got injury concerns at the back with a lot of injury-prone centre-backs. We've also got, you know, we haven't really got 2 like proper like number 6s or whatever that could do the job there properly. We do have probably Bruno Fernandes, who's going to be dropping back and playing in the midfield too if we've got Mbuemo and Cunha playing, which means that, you know, the likes of Cassie or Ugarte or someone like that, Mainu, who knows, would be alongside the likes of Bruno. It's certainly not ideal. So in an ideal world, you would sign a central midfielder, but can you actually expect that to happen when you've got all those players there? Mason Mount is another player that can play there if you need him to. So if we sell Mason Mount, then I could see that happening. But we've got so many players there. And the cam role is very flooded at the moment. The number 10 role. Xerxes can play there. Armag can play there. Cunha and Mbuemo. Bruno Fernandes. You know, Mount. It's like I don't think there's that much need for a central midfielder really in terms of the bodies we've got available personnel-wise, because we're not in Europe this season. But in an ideal world, we would get a CM. In an ideal world, we'd get a wing-back as well, because as much as I rate the chances of Dorgu being good in the future, I'm not blown away by him. And then Dalot is also a good squad player. I really rate Dalot. He can play either side. He's a good player, but he's not world class. He's not top tier. He's a little bit sus at times. So I would like us to think about getting a replacement for him. Mazroui's great as well. But just saying, if you could get somebody in an ideal world, like a Denzel Dumfries or someone to come in there and bolster that right side for us and be a really good attacking wing back as well as defensively, and try and, you know, chip in with some actual assists and all sorts, then we could be doing really well. So in an ideal world, we'd sign 3 more players than just the 4 that we definitely need. We need the striker, the goalkeeper, the 2 signings that we're working on right now. Obviously, we've already done Cunha, I should say, and and Mbuemo we're getting hopefully done soon. And then beyond that, in an ideal world, you get another 3 players in an ideal world. But this isn't an ideal world. This is a Glazer world. And a Glazer world does not give us 3 extra signings this summer. I can almost guarantee it. I'll ask the chat, though, how many summer signings do you think Man United will make in total? I say 5. I say we will get the 4 players that we're talking about, but we'll also get a cheeky little Brucey bonus. I'm thinking somebody else is coming in as well. It might just be a random backup, whatever, rotation player, but I think somebody else might be coming in as well. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say it will be Mbuemo and Cunha, a striker, a goalkeeper, and another random player. We want a Stupinan. Yeah, I've seen that link as well. Interesting. Raul Jimenez. I can see us loaning a striker, to be honest. And a Herrera vibes. Yeah. Thoughts on Panilla on loan? Well, like you've just said there, yes, you can see us loaning a striker. So we talked about this the other day. I don't know if I've still got the information here, do I? I don't. I don't think I do. Oh, no, I don't. But we did talk about this the other day in regards to Palhinha, the link with Palhinha, and I would take him on loan, absolutely. In fact, I'd just buy him for 25, 30 million if you could. But actually, on a loan right now for Man United, it makes perfect sense. He is a great destructive, combative, central defensive midfielder with Premier League proven experience. And when he was in the Prem, his stats were brilliant in terms of winning balls, winning challenges, I should say, and all that sort of stuff. Ball recoveries, that's what I meant to say. Ball recoveries, all that sort of stuff was fantastic for him. He was brilliant. So 100% if we could get him on loan. I mean, a loan move is a no-brainer because it's just not really a risk, is it? You get to try this guy out. You get to see what he's all about. Maybe you could do a permanent deal if he does well. If not, then see you later on. Go back to Germany, lad. Lovely. Brentford, time to sell, 62.3 plus add-ons. 567.3 will be agreement. Easy. Grealish pushing Tottenham. Like your style there, Lucky Singh. Hopefully you're right, bro. Depends on sales, 4 or 5 at most. Yeah, so signings 4, says Elliot. You say 4, 3. Interesting. 3. 3 would be a fail. 3 would be an absolute fail because that means we're not either strengthening the goalie or the striker position. That would be a massive fail. 3 max, says John. Yeah, I can understand the pessimism because let's face it, we don't have a great record with recruitment under these Glazer shithouses. 3, 4, 4, 5. They usually, they do spend money on players, but they usually leave us a little bit short with the situation of the squad. Like the amount of times where we just needed to go sign 1 extra player and they just left us short rather than spend a little bit of extra money. 2, 4, 4, 4. 4, 11. Okay, well, we need 11, but now I actually do think we'll get the 4 that we need. Surely, that's the bare minimum. 4 signings that we need. Striker, goalkeeper, and these 2 lads, Matheus Cunha and Mbuemo. Obviously, I'm forgetting about Diego Leon as well, but I'm just talking about these ones from now, basically. I think we will get an extra player. It could be a Palhinha on loan type. It could be a cheeky extra bit of a wing-back action to come in and bolster the options there. So I think we'll get an extra player, but I don't think we're going to do anything crazy this summer. So far, as it is, guys, I think we've had a bit of a piss-poor transfer window. It wasn't a bad start with Matheus Cunha, and the only reason I say piss-poor is because I'm looking around the Premier League. I'm looking what other clubs are doing. I'm looking at Man City signing several players already. I'm looking at Liverpool signing loads of players already, and getting players sold now as well. And it's annoying because we haven't sold anybody and we've only signed 1 player. So, people will say, don't panic, it's early doors. But there's other clubs doing the business and getting the deals done and we're not. And it is very frustrating. I think maybe it's a lot to do with, PSR, finances. We didn't get Champions League football. Maybe we have to wait till the 1st of July. We've got to structure things. We can't spend as much. Yeah, but it's bullshit, isn't it? It's pretty annoying what's happened lately over this football club because we are getting outdone in the transfer window again by all of the other clubs. Or not all the other clubs, but a lot of the other clubs are still outdoing us. Yes. Rank how likely the outgoings will actually leave. Garnacho, I think, has got a good chance. I'll say 75% he goes. Rashford, I'd say 60% he goes because his wages are a big problem, actually. Transfer-wise as well, it's an issue. Hojlund, I'm going to say 80% he goes. Sancho, 90% he goes. Onana, 65% he goes, you know. It's like, I'm not 100% confident we can sell anyone. Thank you, Simon. He says, get those likes in, lads. Thank you so much, Simon. Oh, yes, we've got over 500 legends in here. Smash that like button. Help us get to 500 likes. Also, give us a subscribe. We're going to be on here again tonight at 10 p.m. at a minimum. We're on here for the 10 p.m. news show. Transfer news goings on this evening. But we'll also be on before then if there is any breaking news or anything. So make sure you click the bell as well. Ring that bell and help us get to 500 likes. The Tesco meal deal is better than Trashford, Asmus and Xerxes. Yeah, there you go. It is bollocks because if we had to wait till 1st of July, we can still get things sorted and have an agreement in place. It's bollocks because if we have to wait till the 1st of July, we can still get things. Exactly, yeah. So what I've said is a here we go situation could happen before the 1st of July. Definitely, that could happen any time now. But the reality of Manchester United waiting could be that we're trying to just get this done in the next financial year. So it might be officially put through the books on the 1st of July. That is possible, and it's probably quite likely at this stage with how long it's sort of taken here. No pull FC. Well, we have to be realistic, Buffalo. We finished 15th. We didn't get Europe. I think this window would have already been going a lot better if we had have won the Europa League and have Champions League football. It would have already been going a lot better. But because of no UCL and no Europe at all, it has left us in a bit of a gash position. But we still are able to bring in players like Matheus Cunha, who is a great player. We're still able to apparently have the interest of the likes of, Emi Martinez. So if we can still sign good players like that, we can still improve. But we are in a more difficult position now. Let's be honest, I suppose it's a bit silly in a way. I just said I'm frustrated with Liverpool signing multiple players and City signing multiple players. I guess it is a bit silly, really, to compare us to them. I still think of us as this massive football club, but they've got, I guess, the resources because of the victories and the glory they've had in recent times, and obviously not the shithouse owners that we've got. And they are actually winning things. Liverpool won the league, so of course they could be able to sign all these players. That's just the sad reality. We are in a bit of a gash situation. It's horrible, but we just need to do the best with what we've got, really, and try and sign some great players from lesser teams or whoever. I wouldn't be against it if we just ended up pilfering Visser from Brentford this season and maybe Martinez from Villa, and we just got all 4 signings coming in from other Premier League teams, Premier League proven players. I'd feel like we could score a lot of goals this season. I mean, for a start, Mbuemo scored 20 goals last season for Brentford. Cunha scored 15 goals for Wolves. And how many did Visser score for Brentford? I think he got 19, didn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Visser got 19. So, add those players. They're all realistic signings. And then, we could be a heck of a lot better this season. We'll get top 6 next season. Yeah, certainly. If we do get some really good signings done in those key areas, then top 6 is definitely on. Lucky Singh says, Jadon Sancho, Rasmus Hojlund reduce wages if want football career Glazers out fan. Okay, nice one there, Lucky Singh. Yeah, I don't think any of them are going to be reducing their wages personally, but okay. Our aim, win matches, try get top 8. Yeah, fair play, Dad. I think that's got to be realistic. As much as we all want to be challenging for the title or challenging for Champions League spaces, we've got to be realistic. The start to this season is very important as well because we've got 5 very tough fixtures. And if we don't get some good points out of those fixtures, we could be right up against it. Like the 5 first games are very hard. We've got 3 of the top 6 plus Fulham away, and Fulham are no mugs, they're a good mid-table side. So unless we get at least 7 points from those first 5 games, we're up shit creek. Big time. But again, if Man United do have a positive start to the season, if we do get some upsets there, maybe we beat Arsenal first day of the season, maybe we get the result against Chelsea, whatever, and then we can start to plan for a good season and start to really believe. So look at Nottingham Forest. I always use them as an example. Last season, I know they ended up missing out on Champions League, but seriously, they were very good throughout the season, and they just sort of built on that. They built on their confidence and momentum. Leicester City, when they won the league, is another fine example. Win well at the start, and you start to believe. You start to get that confidence. You start to really have faith that you can go on and do something, and they did. And so there is actually a chance that Man United does have an amazing season next season. It's just a low chance, and we have to be realistic with our expectations. I think we're going to finish 7th. Get your predictions in. Of course, it depends who we sign now between now and the end of the window. Of course it does. That's going to make a big difference. But I'm going to say we finish 7th right now, and I think that would actually be not the worst situation, considering we finished 15th. We have to be somewhat realistic. We need to focus on getting as good a position in the league as we can next season, scoring a lot more goals, conceding a lot less goals, having a positive goal difference, and also maybe having a stab at one of those domestic trophies, because we're not in Europe. We have to focus on the League Cup, the FA Cup, and maybe we can have a chance of doing that. Do we actually have a creative player in midfield? I mean, we do, yeah. What about the likes of Bruno Fernandes there, Ian Navarro? He'll probably be, if you look at the signings we're making, he'll probably be playing deeper for us. He's already said he's not going, so expect him to be playing in the midfield too. And he obviously is going to be spreading the ball around for us and playing the ball for us, yeah. United must get Europe next season. Absolutely, lad. I am Nasty, welcome in. How you doing today? Glazers, out, out, out. Glazers, out, out, out. Get these transfers over the line. Time to smash the Leeds on the 19th. Whoa! It's getting toasty in here, guys, in the pigsty. The pigsty's hotting up. It is now 28.1 degrees in here. Crikey. That is horrendous. It's just climbing, but we're all right. We're gonna just we're having a great show today, guys. We are going to what's this? Why is Mrs. P phoning me? Hello?
Hi, Baz. Did you shout me?
Did I shout you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. I just thought I heard you say, Fiend.
I can't remember what I was saying now, but I definitely didn't shout you, darling. No, I'm in the middle of doing a pigging stream here, love.
Oh, I didn't know you were streaming.
You didn't know I was streaming? Okay. Sorry, no, Mrs. P's delirious. She's she had a 12-hour night shift last night, guys. She got back, 8 a.m. today. She's had a few hours sleep. She needs to chill out. You get some sleep there, darling. Sorry to wake you up.
All right, then. No, sorry, Baz. I didn't know you were streaming. Have a good stream, then.
All right, thanks, Sheen. Okay, no, I didn't shout you, though.
Okay, no worries.
All right, thanks, Mrs. P. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Love you.
Love you, bye. Silly old mare. I'm joking. She's not a silly, and she's not old, and she's not a mare. Okay. Right, let's... Another Mrs. P clip. There you go, yeah. Oh, dear. Anyway. Right, where was I? It is freaking hot right now today, mate. It's cooking. It's getting hotter by the second as well. Literally 28.2 now, Anyway, it's all right. Pig will turn to pork scratchings in 5, 4, 3, 2. Mrs. P, not the first time she's done that. Now, to be fair to her, she just woken up. She came back and had a sleep, so she's probably a bit like, what's going on? Still, though. Buffalo Soldier, welcome aboard. Yes, Stephen Shipman. Hey, Stephen Shipman, do you know you won the giveaway again last night? It's your call whether you want to take it or you wanted to give it to somebody else. But did you know that you actually won the giveaway on the gaming channel last night again? You've got to be the luckiest individual. I think you're luckier. You are luckier than Jadon Sancho, you are, mate. When it comes to winning stuff on this channel, mate. Craziness. Who else got one? Connor Walsh won the other one as well. But yeah, craziness, lad. Love you. Bye-bye. Interrupting the stream. Outrageous. I know. Shay Harrier. I'd like to think that I could do as good a job as that, Mel. More so. Finishing 7th, you were saying? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Finishing 7th is realistic, of course. And we have to try and not finish lower than that. I think it would be a failure if we finish lower than that with what we're trying to achieve and sort of who we're signing and what we're trying to do. And obviously Ruben Amorim has to do better this season. Massive pressure on him, really, to have a decent start to the Premier League. You want to be up there, at least in the top 6 or 7 by October sort of time. If you can't do that, then there's going to be massive pressure on him. If he's down in 14th place in October, it's really, really tough. So, we've got to try and be up there, at least in the European positions by sort of October, and then, of course, later on in December, Christmas time. It's hotter here in the Caribbean. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, I get that. But it's so hot in the UK here, mate. It's uncharacteristically hot, though. That's what makes it so much more horrendous. It's just we're not used to it over here, mate. It's too hot and it's muggy and it's like the humidity and stuff. I don't know. Now it's 28.3 in here. Is it freezing in the winter, Pig? It is, Craig. Absolutely freezing in the winter in the UK here. Depends which one, Ian, Depends which one. John, I remember Flying Pig waffling about Onana, calling in the best goalkeeper in the world when we got linked to him. Interesting, John, because you obviously don't know a damn thing and you didn't see that, did you? You're just talking shite because you're a little Virgin-esque troll bag, lad. Because if you actually were here at the time, you will have heard me say multiple times, and all my mods and everyone in this channel who was there will tell you, all I've ever said in regards to Andre Onana is we don't need this, Mo, and let's keep David De Gea. That's all I ever said back in the day. So try your rage bait elsewhere, you tit. But but no, seriously, I've always only ever wanted De Gea. I never wanted Onana. So you're talking absolute guff. Yes, he's having a blinder of a summer, hopefully, lad. Congratulations to United. Napoli need Hojlund and Sancho this summer. Exactly. But that was the biggest mistake. If we'd have still had De Gea, crikey would have had an amazing time of it, I think. You know, in an alternate reality, right, this is what's happening. In an alternate reality, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is winning titles with Man United with David De Gea in goal and Harry Kane at the top of the pitch. That's what's happening in an alternate reality, guys. And we're bloody loving it. But we're not in that reality. We're in the shit reality. We're in the reality where the Glazers shithouses are, you know, the toxic melts leading this club into absolute mediocrity by appointing gash managers and, you know, signing players for way too much money who are just gash and putting all faith in Dutch conehead Erik ten Hag to sign players for us, basically, rather than having an actual good scouting network and recruitment set up. We're just going on Ten Hag's hearsay and spending 85 million each player pretty much for the benefit of it. So yeah, that's it really. Imagine that though. In an alternate reality, we probably are doing well. Good afternoon there, Resh McGurk. What's going on, you legend? I appreciate you. Yes. Ten Hag could come in with an offer for Onana. Mate, he should, shouldn't he? I bet you he doesn't though, pal. Hang on, isn't it? Was it? Who did I see earlier they signed? Was it Quansah from Liverpool? Wait, hang on a second. Let me just double check this because I might have dreamed it. You know, sometimes I dream these things. Yes, that's right. That did happen. They got a buyback clause as well. Yes, that did happen. Liverpool have a buyback clause for Gerald Quansah as Bayer Leverkusen move is sealed. Yeah, so he's already gone for Quansah there. Look, they sold Florian Wirtz, right? The most expensive player that Liverpool have ever signed in their history for like £117 million altogether or something in that region, which means that Leverkusen do have a lot of money, don't they? They've got shed loads of money right now. Loads of money! Loads of money! But are they going to come and spend on some players for Man United? Is he going to get the band back together? Is he going to get the lads back together? Jobs for the boyos? Doesn't look like it. I think even he's learned that Anthony Dos Gastos is a little bit too unreliable and one-dimensional. I think even he's learned that Andre Onana has a hand made of gelatin. I think even he's learned that the likes of Gashmus Boyland are very much not the player that he thought he was and, you know, is not clinical enough. So I don't think he's going to sign any of those players, actually. I would love to think so. I mean, we talked about a couple of weeks ago the links made with Anthony Dos Santos. Anthony Dos Santos' situation is most likely going to be he goes back to Real Betis. They're trying to find the finances for a deal or structure a deal with Manchester United over a couple of seasons right now. Anthony's keen on going back there. There's other teams interested. We've heard Como, you know, but realistically, Leverkusen is probably not going to go in for him. It'd be good if they did, because I'd like to think of Erik ten Hag giving us some money back, little cheeky bit of hashtag cashback, you know, would be nice from that waste of money and waste of time. But I think he already has seen from all of those players that they're not good enough. It would be a very poor decision, I think, for him actually to go and get any of those players. Onana, Hojlund, you know, Mount. Most of his signings were piss poor. Anthony Dos Santos. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Malacia, he's not probably going to go and get any of these players, is he? Exactly, I know, Craig Parker. They truly were the worst sort of spending signings ever, really. We could have just even, you know, as we talked about, we could have signed Harry Kane if we didn't spend the money on Mount and also Rasmus. That covers the Kane transfer. And then if you'd have just kept De Gea, you wouldn't have had to spend 50 million quid on Onana either. You think our board's got this window sewn up? I'm not so sure, mate. Let's be real. We're getting left behind a little bit here. Perhaps 1st of July we can start to chill up once we've got a few things announced. It's supposed to be 32 today in the States. Cool off, yeah? Well, yeah. I mean, it's different type of heat over here, though, lad. Like when I went to Vegas, it was very, very hot. But there's just something really, I don't know. It's just, there's something really muggy. It's very muggy, lad. Very muggy in the UK, right? Muggy. It's very Sancho-esque. Very muggy indeed, you know what I mean? Sancho's a bit of a mug, and that's what this weather is, lad. So it's very Sancho-esque weather right now in that sense. Okay, can you say Florian Wirtz in a Scouse accent, please? Hang on, let me just save up a bit of saliva in my cheeks like a hamster. Florian Wirtz, mate. My name's Florian Wirtz. Hey, mate, if you heard Liverpool signed a new player, mate, his name's Florian Wirtz. That's hard. How the fuck are they going to say that, mate? Florian Wirtz, mate. Sorry for covering you in a week's saliva there, pal. But it's fucking hard to say Florian Wirtz, mate, in a Scouse accent, nah. You know what I mean? Tough. How are your brother and nephew doing, Piggy, mate? Haven't seen them on here for a while. They're all good. Thanks for asking. Yes, mate. All good. Living it up over there in the States, lad. Humidity is the word. Yeah, definitely. Ole's decision to buy Bruno was the biggest mistake in my viewpoint. Since then, it's been a constant decline. Oh, my God, you what? Bruno Fernandes was insane for 18 months. Do you know what the biggest mistake probably was for Ole? Was that summer window where he brought in Varane and Sancho. And obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo was good for us, don't get me wrong. But Sancho was shite. Varane was injury prone, although Varane was good, but he was injury prone. And it just didn't start well that season. There was big expectation because he had a big window with signings. Ten Hag-esque. You remember the heat in Death Valley being more bearable than this UK Gov. Really, SCJF? Wowzers, mate. Nutty stuff. On a serious note, we need to replace the players. Yeah, it gets up to like 50 degrees around there now. Hoping to sell, otherwise we're one injury away as it stands from a catastrophic position. Very true, lad. Very true, very true. Need to replace the players we're hoping to sell. Yeah, no, good shout. True. I mean, we do probably need to bring in a centre-back anyway, because if you think about it, we've had Johnny Evans and also Lindelof leave. Well, we haven't replaced it with a centre-back, and we've only got injury-prone Luke Shaw, injury-prone Lenny Yoro, injury-prone Martinez, injury-prone De Ligt, uninjury-prone Slabo, he's robust as a slab, and, Aiden Heaven, so we probably could do with another centre-back as well. And Mbuemo not worth 63+ million, they're ripping you a new one. Depends on the overall final price tag. If it's around 63, 65, it's in keeping with what we're paying. It's in keeping with these sorts of transfers that are going on. If Florian Wirtz is going for 117 million to Liverpool, 63 million from Mbuemo, who scored 20 Premier League goals last season, is not a bad deal, mate. Let's be honest there, Martin. In comparison to other deals, and even in comparison to our own deals that we've done over the years for Anthony and Pogba and Sancho and Hojlund and all these guys, even compared to that, it's not a bad deal. At least he's Premier League proven he's going to cost less than them. So I don't really think it's crazy money. I think it is high. Any much more than that, if it was 70 million, yes, we're getting ripped off. But 63 million, 65 million even, I think that's about right for this current market and what these players mean to their current clubs and how many goals they score, etc. I do think that's about right. Stephen Shipman, thank you so much, mate, for your super chat, lad. Get in there, lad. He says, Stephen Shipman, big up Dom Pig and the community. I'll keep this one, Pig up. I was working as usual. GGMU glazes the F out with the Deadwood. You'll keep this one, Piggo. What do you mean? You want me to send you the t-shirt? Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? How many have you had now, Stephen? It's unreal. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat there, you legend. I appreciate you. Let's go. Get some love in there for him. Sky will be constantly wiping their camera when Kara says Florian's name. Oh, goodness me. They're going to have to bring out umbrellas in the studio, aren't they? Aren't they? With Jamie Carragher. Hey, mate, my name's Jamie. Jamie Carragher, work on Sky Sports with Gary Neville, mate. And we're here to discuss the Scousers' new signing, Florian Wirtz. Oh, goodness me. Umbrellas at the ready. Umbrellas at the ready, my friends, when Kara's about. You saw my red card on FIFA last night. Outrageous decision. Oh, it's a disgrace and a nonsense, isn't it? Chris Wood, 20 goals, 30 million. Well, you could do worse, but again, I don't think he's the right option for us. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to check the latest updates, guys. By the way, we're only 6 likes off of 400 likes. Thank you so much, everyone, for hitting the like button. And also, keep hitting the subscribe button. I forgot to say as well, we're going to shout out everyone who reposts us on X there. I'll shout out everyone in a minute. legends. I'll just check to see first if there's any updates from any of the big journalists. There isn't. So let's get in and shout out everyone who's reposted us on X there. Thank you so much to all the reposters. Big up to you. 11 legends. Thanks for sharing the show around. It does help. Aaron Homeyard, Paul, Kieran, Kane, Francois Cock, Vincent Bullock, Chris Bamo, MUC Brummy Weds, and John Boy Cat. Thank you so much, you legends, for sharing this around. Appreciate you. Also, feel free to give us a follow on X or Insta or anywhere like that at Flying Pig United. All the links in the description. Right, let's get back into the chat for a few minutes. Then we'll be wrapping this sucker up. But great show once again, guys. And once again, we'll be back on here tonight, 10 p.m. for another update. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you get notified. Smash the bell like your name was Quasimodo. Esmeralda, the bells, Esmeralda. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. You know it makes sense. Yes, it should have done Solitude Guard. I've got a feeling they're waiting until July 1st, though, to actually officially get it done. Thank you, Elliot. Love the impressions. Thank you, Elliot. My name is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the greatest Swedish striker of all time. Zlatan does what Zlatan wants. Zlatan will just turn up at Old Trafford this season and score many goals, even though he's retired. Zlatan is going to do Ruben Amorim big favour. Phil Taylor says, yes, he's the spit dog carrier, especially. I know! The hell's that all about, Phil Taylor? And he still kept his job. How can you spit on like a teenage girl in a car going down the motorway and then keep your job, mate? What's that all about when your job is being on telly? It's mad, isn't it? Thank you for liking the video, Pete Hibbert. You're a legend. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Simon Warner. Need to try Haribo Nostalgic. It's bloody lovely. Oh, I know, I don't get that Old Trafford way. It's mad, isn't it? Big up 3187, big up History Buff. Yes, if you're a WhatsApp Man United group, send this link over to you, to the group. Just doesn't click for Bruno fans. Previously, the club told every player they could leave after a terrible season. Bruno's agent did the European rounds and got rejected by everyone. Not so sure about that, really, MB Creator lad. That's some hearsay. That's some hearsay. Ultimately, no, there was one concrete offer, and that was from Saudi. And it was for shitloads of money. It was for way more money than he could get paid here at Manchester United. Tax-free as well. So, no, I disagree with that. Although, you know, let's be honest. If there was a top club like a Barca or a Real or someone like interested in him right now and they did come knocking, I'm sure he would go. I think the reason he's not gone to Saudi is not just because of his love for Manchester United or wanting to play in England here. No, it's because, well, it's a World Cup year. He wants to stay in Europe, play in the top leagues, and make sure he's involved fully in that Portuguese midfield next season, you know, next summer. Plus, also, he's all about a bit more about the legacy, not just about the money. So we know he's not about the money, but I have to admit, if there was an offer for Bruno from Real or Barca or someone like that, hypothetically speaking, I'm sure he would want to go. And you couldn't blame him for that, really. Sky Sports Update, we're looking at Mbuemo. I don't think he did have Vincent Bullock. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, mate. But it is not nice. I mean, it's assault. It's actually assault. If you spit on someone, that is assault. And plus, it was, if you actually look at it, it's totally out of proportion for what was happening. He's driving down the road. There's a Man United fan, and the Man United fan is driving the car, right? He's obviously, you know, he's having a bit of banter, whatever he sees carrying next to him. And they're all just going like, oh, you know, like he only just said, I can't remember whatever the scoreline was. It wasn't anything like he said, Cara, you absolute rancid scouse. Screw you, pal. Nothing like that. It's like, drop some points there, have you? 1-1, is it? Or whatever it was. I can't even remember now, but it really wasn't that bad. Next thing you know, he's hocked a bloody loogie at his daughter in the passenger seat, mate. Hocked her and spit on that thing there. You know? It's mental. That is mad, isn't it? Why would you do that? I mean, what an animal. That's disgusting behaviour from Carragher. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. You know, fair enough if somebody's done something absolutely heinous to you. But for just going, you dropped some points, and then gobbing on them, you know, that's absolutely outrageous. Carragher's a scummer, lad. Bruno should have gone to Saudi, get your paycheck instead of getting relegated. Yeah, not getting relegated, we're going to win the league. No one's coming knocking for Bruno. None of the big boys in Europe, maybe. No, I mean, he's old and he's cost a lot of money. He's not old, by the way. He's only 30, 31, but he'll cost a lot of money for his age. Like, we wouldn't send him for anything less than 60, 70 million to a top club. And maybe probably more likely 80 or 90. You read yesterday that Nana says he wants to stay and fight for his place. I know, yeah, I saw that too. Can't imagine that it's going to be the same case, though, if we sign a new goalie. I think if we sign a new goalie, he would understand that he's not the first choice anymore. Ronaldo Edit says, come on, United, get in there, my son. Dave Exley, let's go. Please re-sign Greenwood and De Gea. Well, De Gea definitely. Greenwood, if he wasn't a scummer, would have had an amazing career at United and he would have been truly smashing loads of goals in right now. But unfortunately, it's not worked out that way, lad. He's more than good enough. We're lucky to have Bruno. 100% agree with you, Dino. Casemiro will stay. Yes, he spat on their car and then robbed the rims of their car. Is Mbuemo better than Diallo? He is, yes, in terms of the cam roll. Now, Diallo's younger. Diallo's obviously great. I actually prefer Diallo on the wide area, you know, when he's really wide, taking players on and getting balls in. He's very dangerous. The thing is with Mbuemo is, of course, Mbuemo's better than Diallo right now at the number 10 spot. Or even just on the right wing. Obviously playing for Brentford on the right wing last season. He scored 20 goals and 8 assists. Diallo didn't get those stats. Diallo had a good season, actually. He had some decent stats, very decent, but not to that level. So if you're talking about actually improving upon that position, for a start, Amad Diallo could potentially play as an attacking wing-back for us. On the right side, he could be an attacking right wing-back. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And then he can still deputise at the number 10 sometimes also. But I think Mbuemo will give us a lot more goals than Diallo did in that position, really. We need our captain. Who would replace him if he left? Who would be the captain if Bruno left? Great question. From the current team, you know, it's slim pickings. I guess it'd have to be somebody at least with a bit of bottle, but they're not necessarily the best sort of... I mean, we couldn't have Slabby Maguire captain again. I wouldn't want to give him the captaincy. Nah, he shouldn't even be really started if we're truly improving upon our positions in the team. I'm going to say probably... I don't know, mate. Martinez, you know, the Butcher Martinez, maybe Ugarte if he's here long term and actually does have a good season, he's got a bit about him, but those guys have got a bit of character and stuff, but, you know, are they going to be consistently playing? Are they actually going to do the business for us? Still remains to be seen. Dave Exley, thank you so much, Dave Exley, for subscribing to the channel. Yes, Dave. Get in there, Dave Exley. Nice. Keep hitting the subscribe button like Dave Exley if you're new there. We've got new people subscribing today. Lovely to see. Welcome aboard to the Bacon Express, everyone. Gyokeres ain't coming. Right. Fair enough. Probably not. He's probably going to Arsenal, I agree. And if he does, I'm not bothered. You know, I'm not bothered at all. I'd be quite happy with any top striker this summer. Give me an Osimhen. Give me a cheeky Visser. Give me a Mateta. Give me somebody with Premier League proven experience out of those two as well, you know. Probably be better for us. Another mercenary coming because United paying over the odds wages. Possibly has something to do with it. MB Bruno Tisadi would have brought 100 million. Look at this window without the extra funds. No, I know that. But, you know, we can't look at it that way, really. Ruben Amorim wanted him to stay. That's what Bruno said. He said, Amorim told me he wants me to stay. And if that's what Amorim wants, if he sees more of the value in keeping Bruno in the squad, because he's a big, great player, he's our best player, you know, why would you want to see your best player go? That's what I don't get. He was literally our best player and has been for years. So, yeah, fair enough. We're getting a lot of money for an ageing player. But there's other players to sell. I would understand it if he was the only player to sell to generate 100 million. But there's other players to sell that are shitter. Get rid of the shitter players first and keep your best players. You know, that's what I do. Martinez will be captain. Interesting. Slabby. Yep, De Ligt. Oh, De Ligt, yeah. De Ligt could be a decent captain going forward. Onana. If Mount goes, who gets the number 7? That's a great question. Who knows? That's a great question, lad. I mean, obviously, people have mentioned the likes of Diallo could be in for the shot. But I don't know. Maybe, yeah, who knows? Mbuemo? Casemiro, De Ligt, Martinez. None of them scrubs his captain material. De Ligt, captain Ajax. Yeah, fair play. Bryan Mbeumo's in Old Trafford now. I don't think that's true, John, no. Francisco, I'm not going to disrespect your opinion, but play in different positions. De Ligt is a captain again, needs to stay injury-free. That's it. He has injury concerns. If he can stay fit, then I think we could see potentially that happening long term if he does well. Love Osimhen. Osimhen would be a fine addition to the team, mate. He scores lots of goals. Great pace on him, dangerous, great skill. He would be a great addition, wouldn't he? If he's up for the fight. You've got Beckham Ronaldo in your squad. Who are you giving the number 7 shirt to? It would have to be Cristiano Ronaldo. And the 7 would, Beckham would have to wear number 10 or 23. Because I remember him wearing 23 for, who was it? Real and fucking LA Galaxy probably. And then also, yeah, whatever. Probably do that anyway. We want players who want Man United. Yeah, that's it, really. We don't want anyone on second choice. Delict can be captain. Ahmad 7. Nice one, Dino. Sheldon says, if we don't get rid of Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Hojlund and Onana, I can see Amorim getting sacked due to these bums. Yeah, definitely. Got to get rid of him, mate. That's it. Got to get rid of him. And he's even keen to get rid of the likes of Garnacho as well. But the thing is, if we do sell a lot of those players you've mentioned, we can generate the best part of £200 million. Garnacho 50 million, Rashford 40 million, Sancho 20 million, Anthony 35 million, Hojlund 35 million, Onana 20 million. You know, like that's a lot of money right there if we were to have a successful load of outgoings. But that is a big if right now. We need a team that we're trying to build. It's not about individuals at all. So true, lad. So true. It's about the team, isn't it? Whoever we sign should not be on long contracts, no 5-year plus one. Indeed, I agree. And Mbuemo, Mason owns it. Yeah, no. Villa want Mount. Well, in an ideal world, we sell Mason Mount this summer and the number 7 gets freed. And even if we can't sell Mason Mount this summer, I know it would cause all sorts of upheaval and all sorts of issues. But we should strip him of the 7. He's actually a mockery to the number 7. I know they won't do that. They won't do that if he's staying. What are the striker options right now? Okay, Niraj, so the striker options for Man United to sign are Gyokeres from Sporting, Osimhen from Napoli, Mateta from Palace, Visser from Brentford, Jonathan David on a free as well is an option. Tony from Saudi, Mitrovic from Saudi. You know, there's a lot of options. Watkins from Villa. There you go. Exactly. He's another option. There's quite a few options, and none of them are that bad, to be honest. I quite like all of those options we've just talked about. Easy. Yep. Easy. Yeah. Easy. Cliver at Bournemouth's another option, and they don't necessarily have to be out and out strikers either. Really. You know, we could potentially just sign players who can all rotate across that front three. Yes, I don't know, Francisco. I think they've got good potential there, Collier and Mainu, personally. Casemiro's still very good. He had a great last few months of the season. Ugarte, I am a little bit unsure about at the moment from what I've seen from him, I'll be honest. You know, it gives me Morgan Schneiderlin vibes. Osimhen, too greedy money-wise. Yeah, true. Not worried about Arsenal at all. Piggy and Amorim's risk is going to be his and Bruno's swan songs. Bruno at 30 years old for 100 million was a no-brainer. I disagree, really. I disagree, just because I think Bruno is our best player. Why would you want to sell your best player? Sure, cashing in, getting 100 million. I don't trust this team to spend that 100 million well. I wouldn't expect us to be able to go get a player as good as Bruno Fernandes for even 100 million if we had that to spend on one player. I wouldn't trust us to go and get a player that does more for us than Bruno. So that's why I would keep him, because it's better for the team. Did you see John Jones retired? I did see that. What a melter, lad. Pissed off with that. Really wanted to see Tom Aspinall smash his face in, lad. That was probably going to happen. John Jones could have got 40 million as his last fight, or 30 million, but he's decided to retire and duck him, lad. He's ducked him, lad. Do you USA Tour will get binned now they're at war? I don't know, Robert. I think that's a little bit dramatic to say. But, you know, you never know. I mean, it could happen. It depends what happens now. I mean, you know, it's expected that there'll be peace talks and all sorts. Anyway, I'm not getting into that. We should have beaten them if it's was the goalkeeper. Napoli wants Sancho and Rasmus, 3 United players. McSauce, yeah, easy to Spurs, I hear. Spurs also looking at Semenyo, aren't they, at the minute? You mean who will buy these players? You mentioned for the money they're on, you'd have to give them away. Well, I'd rather give Bruno away in 4 years after he's, you know, done and has spent force and had 4 great years at the club and won some things. Honestly, it's not my money. I don't care if we get 100 million right now. You know, the chances are we won't spend it greatly anyway. So, you know, our hit rate of transfers over the last 5 years has got to be less than 50% in terms of good signings. You know, Mazraoui, De Ligt, there's a couple of good ones. There is, but most of them are shite. So our hit rate's not very good. So I'd be happy to just give Bruno away in 4 years' time and let him go for nothing. Honestly. Vardy, if we're really desperate, can someone explain why Amorim doesn't see Bruno as a cam? I think he does. It's just that now we're signing Mbuemo and obviously Cunha. There will be times when Bruno's playing at cam still. But I think he knows that Bruno can play deeper. He knows he can also play deeper. We need Del Boy selling for us, because Bruno's quite robust in the sense that he gets around. He's very mobile. He also likes to get stuck in and in a tackle and stuff. So he's got attributes to play that midfield role. Liverpool strongly going for the good ones, almost about to snatch Ekatike. Yeah, it seems like it. Thank you, Paul Warby. Let's go, Paul Warby, legend. Ineos need to force Bruno out. I don't want it, guys. I don't want that to happen. Guys, keep or sell Bruno. Sell him for 100 mil or keep him to play for us for the next 3 seasons. Have your say. But for me, it's a keep all day because he's already a great player and we've already got him in the door. This is another David De Gea situation all over again, where we're strengthening the parts of the team that don't need strengthening or weakening the parts of the team that we should keep. This is a David De Gea situation all over again, if you ask me. People were saying, get rid of De Gea. He's rubbish. Get rid of him. Error prone, blah, blah, blah. I was never saying that. I was saying, let's keep De Gea because he's good and solid and awesome. And the same goes for Bruno. Bruno's one of our best players. He is not the problem. The problem in the team is not Bruno Fernandes. It's a lot of the other melts that we need to sell and move on. Yeah, Vardy would be a great addition as a backup signing, yes. Do you think of the main event last night if you watch it? I actually haven't seen it yet. I need to catch up on it, lad. Just going to clean house. Surely we can sell 5 players for 100 million. This Brighton boy Baleba is an interesting midfielder. We should sign him. Yeah, interesting shout there, Francisco. Who's that other lad at Brighton? Is it João Pedro, is it? I've forgotten his name now. Yeah, João Pedro, the other striking option at Brighton that apparently is on our transfer list as well. And he's not got a bad little record. So there's a couple of options for Man United, I suppose. Hang on a second. Baleba has 80 million asking price, well, fair enough. Definitely keep. You can't buy Bruno's passion. Exactly. Let's see what you guys are saying anyway with the whole Bruno thing. It's an interesting debate, but I would keep him all day. Good afternoon, Ryan G. Keep, says Simon. Keep, says Stephen. Sell all day. Sell. Keep him. All you have to do, Jason Mogford, to subscribe is click the bell. No, click the subscribe button down below. It's the red button down there somewhere that says subscribe. Or it might be white if you're on the phone app or whatever. There's a button there that says subscribe. Click the subscribe button. That way you will be subscribed. Also, click the like button. Help us get to 500 likes. We're nearly on 500 likes. Can we get to 500 likes? Hit the likes on it. Also, smash up the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications. Keep Bruno. Keep. He's never injured. Yeah, he's robust, isn't he? Works hard. He's pure passion as well. Keep. We got bigger fish to fry. Yep, for 100 million, I'd sell in a heartbeat. Definitely keep. Can't beat Bruno's passion. Onana's the problem. Mateta would be a great addition. Bruno, one of our fittest players. We'd be relegated last year without Bruno. Get rid of everyone. Exactly. CO says melts. Scott says he is a keep. Look at the players we have after Mbuemo. 3 good goal scorers and a striker, and holy cow, man, need a keeper. Yeah, definitely. Onana honestly kind of sells the team. Hello there, Susan Chetri. Yes, Bruno cannot play deeper. Every time he does, he fails. Not true. Not true. Bruno Fernandes has played deeper for us before, and he's done well in certain games. The modern game demands fit young players. He is very fit and mobile, though. He gets around and he's robust. Anyway, I'm just saying we can try it out. Ultimately, there's nothing wrong with having depth in the cam position anyway, especially if you're looking to sell players like Mason Mount. Hopefully, we can sell Mason Mount this summer. It's not really truly being discussed. There's not much on the agenda there. There are some reports the likes of Aston Villa or whoever are interested in Mount. I find it hard to believe. But if it's true, brilliant. Maybe he could be sold, and then then there's going to be more opportunities at the number 10 role for a lot of players. But I do think the idea for Amorim is Bruno's going to be playing deeper. Keep Bruno, try sign Douglas Luiz or similar first team CM. Keep Bruno, give away the lazy rats. Yes, there you go. There's a red subscribe button on the right side. Yes, hit the subscribe. There it is. We can look into Rios as a deep midfielder. Yes, we are. Are you talking about Richard Rios? I'd take Matoma. Xavi Guerrera from Valencia is a very good midfielder too. He's not very expensive. I think he costs 50 million. Yeah, and Mbuemo deal done. Let's hope so, David, very soon. Keep 100%. Keep 100%. As a rival, fine. I hope you sell him. Great player and annoying to look at. A fair play either. Vardy is free agent right now. He is, Niraj. Yes, we can get him, lad. And also, it's not doing anything dirty to Leicester by him signing for a Premier League club, Man United, because Leicester got relegated. So it's the perfect time to get Vardy as a third-choice striker. It really is. Maybe he'd be keen. Jonathan says, people who say sell, who's to say we would spend the money wisely? Exactly, and we probably wouldn't. Keep Bruno. Selling him would destabilise the team too much at this stage. Yeah. I mean, Welbeck would be a good squad player, but we could definitely do worse, such as Hojlund, but, he's not the answer, is he? In January mid-season, we must have this debate again. I definitely remember we can have a proper debate on this topic. Okay, then, nice one, MB. I'm pretty sure Bruno will do bits for us because he's a great player fundamentally, but okay. We've got to admit this transfer market's getting boring. We need something to make it interesting. I know, yes. Well, hopefully Mbuemo soon, maybe 1st of July, though. LFC selling Salah, so good on Bruno for being loyal. He's the first player you need. Well, there you go. This is what I've likened it to. Last summer, I'm pretty sure it was last summer, there was talks of Salah being sold. And there was talks of them cashing in huge money to Saudi, right? LFC decided to keep him. Look what happened. Salah's their best player. He's had the best season he's had for them. You know, I would hate to think that we could give away an amazing player like Bruno Fernandes, honestly, even if it's going to get us lots of money, because he's class. Would Liverpool sell Salah? It's the same as Liverpool selling Salah, really. It's like their best player. Exactly. Kieran says, Bruno's one of our best players, as you said. It's the other idiots in the team. That's it. There's at least 6 players we can sell to generate money without having to sell the likes of Bruno Fernandes. In years to come, I don't think you'll find a better player than Bruno. Oh, man, Bruno's the only player out of everybody in our whole team that would even get remotely close to Manchester United starting 11s from 15, 20 years ago. You know, he's the only one. If Fernandes is playing attacking role good, if he's playing deep mid and CDM, he's a huge problem because he loses the ball. Well, the thing is, he's going to be playing alongside, he will be playing in that midfield too, but he'll be playing alongside a more defensive-minded player like a Casemiro or someone like that, or a Ugarte, something like that. So Bruno's going to have the role where he's going to be, playmaking. But I don't think, you say he gives the ball away a lot. He'll have the pitch in front of him in that position more so. When you're in the final third and it's constricted, there's all those, the lines of defences and stuff, there's less space. Bruno is the guy to always try and make something happen, though, when he's further up there for us. But bit deeper, I think you'll see Bruno have more options. He'll have a better, higher passing percentage from that position because he's playing the playmaker role, essentially. He's not further up there trying to unlock the defences in the narrow, really tight spaces up there. He's trying to get United going. So I think you'll see a different sort of a role for Bruno, and I think he'll do it really well. His passing's brilliant. He just he's got not the best record, I suppose, when it comes to percentage of passes completed, but that's because he tries so many bloody passes. He's passing his arse off every game, trying to get things going for his team. He's one of the only ones to actually do it. Kieran Bailey, thank you for subscribing, Kieran Bailey. Yes, lad. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. If you're new, guys, then please do hit the subscribe. We keep saying it, but we're going to be back on here again tonight at 10 p.m, so join us. We've got a great community vibe around here. We try and read everybody's comments out at the end of these streams as well. There's a lot in here today. Dibbling has to be 30 million, or I'm not looking. Do you know what? I can't really get on the old Tyler Dibbling thing. You know why? Because it just makes me think of... not for anywhere near that money. Tyler Dibbling now, mate. It just makes me think of Dwayne Dibley from Red Dwarf. Dwayne Dibley? I can't take it seriously, guys. I don't like it. I don't like the name, mate. It's too out there. I can't say that name without thinking of Dwayne Dibley. Imagine having Bruno as your best player, led United into the worst season ever in history. Well, it's still, yes, okay, fair enough, facts, but it's not just him, is it? It's a team. The fact is he's not the guy who's responsible for us being shit. He's a reason why we weren't even worse. Yeah, fair enough, Bottom Bliss. Yeah, I like him there too, but I still think he can do the job for us there. If we get Mbuemo, then we need to sort out goalkeeper in midfield. Liverpool's selling Salah. It's almost like saying that England would get rid of Kane. Yeah, there you go. Bruno hoofs it and loses his head way too much. He does get a little bit emotional sometimes, that's true. He only loses the ball further up the pitch, taking risks. That's what I'm saying. When he's playing deep, he almost never loses it. The argument of losing the ball is weak. I agree with you, Tim. When he's further up the pitch, trying to make stuff happen, taking the risk, trying to play all those through balls to unlock these defences, when he's got a bunch of headless chickens moving in front of him as well, it's different than playing the midfield role where you're spreading it around. I completely agree with you, Tim. I think he can do that role for us brilliantly. If we get a number 9, would you keep Rasmus and let him develop? I would not really, no. I'd at least loan him out, let him develop elsewhere and sign someone else for now. Bruno, very good player, just needs better players around him. Yeah, bonkers. What's the difference between Bruno types and Verts Eriksson types, says MB Creator? What do you mean there, MB, lad? The deal has been close for donkey's years. Hope this time is really close. Imagine not winning a trophy in your best period. Gunners. Yeah, and we're in a shit period and we're actually winning lots of trophies as well. With Cunha and Mbuemo in front of Bruno would be perfect, I think. Yes, they will be worried about them leaving Bruno with free role to do this. That's quite interesting. So you're saying Cunha and Mbuemo in front of... Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's it. I would say a midfield two of like Casemiro and Bruno or Ugarte and Bruno. And then the two of Mbuemo and Cunha in front. It just sounds deadly. It sounds like there's so much creativity in the team. Maybe it doesn't have enough defensive robustness. That's fair. But it sounds like there's just bags of creativity in that team. Bruno's better than Wirtz, so there is that. Exactly, I totally agree with you. Bruno is way better than Wirtz, lad. Now, what's Wirtz done that justifies his 117 million spend? Bruno losing the ball. Are you serious? Top 5 Premier League nominations, you don't get that losing the ball. Well, the only reason he's losing the ball anyway is because he's actually making stuff happen. He's the unlocker of the opposition defences. Yep, don't forget Diego Leon. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, just look at the stats, really, too cool for school. You go and have a look at Bruno's stats over the last 4 or 5 years. He's one of the most creative, best players in Newcastle. We need players to replace Lindelof, Evans, and stand in for Martinez. Yeah, Joe White in Newcastle, good young attacking midfielder to keep an eye on. Interesting. Yep. I've known about that guy for years, actually, Joe White. Because that's actually my name. In case you didn't know. That's actually my actual name. So I'm just like, oh no, please don't become the best footballer in the world. You know, because then I'm going to be, just everyone's going to go, oh, you mean like that footballer? Fuck that. Thanks, Chian Matsola, for subscribing there. Yes, thank you for hitting the subscribe button. We're only like 10 people away from 90,900, so give us a subscribe there. We're just going to read a couple more comments out, then we better wrap this stream up. It's been a long one. But legendary chat, as always, with the community of Bacon here. Big ups to the Bacon Brigade. Better than Verts? Yeah, that's it. It's not Piggy, no. It's actually not Piggy. Thank you, Jason. You've subscribed and I've liked it. Legend. Thank you so much. Shaw's shirt sponsored by Burger King. Oh, LFC wouldn't give £170 for Bruno, never mind 170 million. Well, his age is a factor, isn't it? I mean, obviously, DJ. Bit of a stupid comment because Bruno's like 31. Verts is a youngster, 22 or whatever he is. 23 or whatever he is. I don't even know how old he is. But he's a lot younger than Bruno. So a bit of a stupid comment there, lad. You actually thought my name was Piggy? What's the silence with regard to Gyokeres and Ekitike? Well, Gyokeres seems to want Arsenal. They're asking for a bit too much money. Sporting apparently holding out for 80 mil. Arsenal and United not keen on paying that figure. Ekitike at the moment isn't a serious link to Man United. Apparently he's on the list, but not a serious link. More linked to Liverpool at the moment. I don't know, really. I really don't know Jonathan Dolby. He's been amazing for us. I love Bruno. I love his mentality. He's literally the only player in our team capable of being a captain for us, pretty much. Everyone else is guff. Mal Westhead, get in there, lad. You thought it was Don Piglioni. Oh, Jack Black and Joe White in this year's summer hit scored a rock. Get in there, Daz. We've been duped. Legends. Exactly, Piggy. Stats. That's what Bruno fans use as defence. Look at Wirtz, Ericsson goal, assists nowhere near Bruno's. That's because the cam isn't about running around and scoring, more assisting. Interesting there, MB Creator. Interesting. But I'm looking at goals and assists and, overall impact. I feel Bruno's just a classy player. I think most teams in the world, for the right price, would be interested in Bruno. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this stream now, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a great chat. Big ups, Francisco. If Manchester United gave the power to sign any player you wanted, regardless of price, who would it be? Regardless of price, and if we could get anyone, I suppose I'd probably go for, it would have to be Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Donnarumma, maybe, depending on, because we need a goalkeeper. It'd be one of those three. Take your pick, I suppose. Sorry, Lamine Yamal would be a great pick as well, because he's only 17 and he's absolutely mint. So I think he would be great because you could get 15 years of quality, top quality out of him, maybe. Obviously, he's young, but he does look pretty amazing considering his age. So, yeah, anyway, right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Great chat as always. There's the latest goings on. Man United apparently willing to pay £63+ million for the man Mbuemo, but may well not be getting done till the 1st of July, as we've mentioned. Fab has reported that the talks are ongoing now between United and Brentford to see if we can reach an agreement. There's reports that Alarim's interested in Porto goalkeeper Diogo Costa as his preferred replacement for Onana. There's also reports that we're working to sell Sancho and Antony. Fenerbahce have got a newfound interest in Sancho as well, apparently, as have Napoli and Inter. Rashford's not giving up on Barca. This is via the Times. He's been twerking for them. And that's pretty much the latest news, guys. We'll be back on tonight at 10 p.m. for the latest transfer news goings on. And if there's anything big and breaking beforehand, we will jump on. So click the bell icon and all that. Right, thanks for watching, legends. Smash that subscribe button. Smash the bell icon. Smash the like. And I'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. Have a great afternoon, guys. Enjoy the weather. And remember, Piggy loves you. You can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Also, check this link in the chat, guys. I'm just going to pin a link to the top of the channel there, top of the chat. If you could do us an honour of subscribing to the gaming channel, it's called Flying Pig Gaming. I'll pin it to the top of the live chat there, and that way you can subscribe to my gaming channel. We've been streaming last night, the night before, FC25 late night. We are streaming tonight, so come and join us on the gaming channel at Flying Pig Gaming. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Go over there and subscribe. You know it makes sense. Right, legends, have a great day and I'll see you soon. It's pinned at the top right now. Go and subscribe to Flying Pig Gaming and I'll see you tonight. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.